Digital Literacy Program. This will be week 6, Intermediate Python Programming. So last week we covered basic features in syntax as well as data types and variables and standard if-else conditionals. Now we will talk about data structures and libraries. Moving forward, what are data structures? These are ways to organize and store data in programming. You can group related information together and manipulate it as a unit, so you can do multiple bits together. So now here are the main ones you will cover: lists, tuples, and dictionaries. Lists are collections of items that can't be modified, so it can store a lot of different things, as well as numbers, strings, true or false values, and even other lists. So let's say I go into the Python compiler and I do fruits is equal to apple, banana, and watermelon. To print a value or to access a value, you use the brackets after the name of the list. So if you want the second value, it's indexed by 0, so you do -1. You do fruit 1. So let's print that out. See, this is the second value, 0, 1, 2. Anyways, moving forward, these are the operations you can do and how you access them. See, I told you for the index, use hard brackets. To add a value, you do .append. For an insert value in a specific index, you do list.insert. List.remove removes a value from the list, but it's not as effective as list.pop, which removes by index and is much more specific if there's multiple of the same values in one list. List.sort can sort the list by integer or string, and list.length returns how many items are inside of the list. Moving forward, make a list of your favorite movies, add a new movie to the end, remove a movie you don't like, and print its final list in length. This is a test to see how you can manipulate data structures. Now, what are tuples? These are ordered collections that cannot be modified, so these stay the constant. And they're good if you want to do hard-coded values, and they're faster than lists because it stays the same. Like coordinates, they stay the same, and RGB values, if you want to pick one color, you can use tuples. So these are coordinates, and these cannot change, so this is what they're good for. Use a list if you want to build something dynamically or want to add and remove stuff, and a tuple when you make data that can't change. Moving on to dictionaries, they're pretty interesting. They're key value pairs, so you create them with curly braces, and keys have to be unique and immutable, so stuff that can't change, like strings, numbers, or tuples, but the values can be anything. So let's say I make a new thing, so worker is equal to name maps to John, age 56, and work quality goes to high. Now let's say if we print the name part of worker. Let's see the problem. This is why you have to use literal strings or the same key. You cannot use just variable names. So see, the name part was accessed and John was printed out. Here are some options you can do with dictionaries. You can access with dictionary key or dictionary.getKey. To update something, you can update the key is equal to value. If you want to remove a key and its corresponding value, you can do del dict key or dict.pop key. If you want to print the keys, you can do dictionary.keys, and all values, print dictionary.values. If you want to see what pairs to what, do dictionary.items. And if you want to check a specific key and see if it's in the dictionary, then it will say key in dictionary. You put key in dictionary. So if your dictionary is called like worker, you put key in worker. Moving forward, create a dictionary of students and their grades. Add a new student, update an existing student's grade, and then print all students and their grades. This is a test to see how you can manipulate dictionary variables. Now, moving past data structures, we're going to talk about Python libraries. These are collections of code that are past Python's capabilities. Import them with import library name. Some of them come when you install it, like random, math, JSON, and datetime, but a lot of others have to be installed separately. This manages HT like website requests. This does CSV files. This is more data manipulation, and this is visualization of code. Now here's some popular Python libraries depending on what you want to use. For data and math, you can use these for like statistical methods, like functions, random numbers, data analysis on datasets, and numerical operations. For web and APIs, if you want to access the internet, Request does HTTP requests, so you can like modify a website or get information from it. Beautiful Soup 4 actually scrapes websites, and Flask builds web apps. For visualization, these are actually, you can do matplotlib to generate graphs, and Plotly can make them interactive, or interactive graphs. Now Scikit and Torch are more advanced. This is machine learning, which is what Python can be used for, but this won't be covered in depth today. For some real-world applications, web development, you can use dictionaries to store user data, and lists to manage collections of users. Pandas can process CSV files in large datasets, and data structures can make it easy to clean and visualize information. Now think of a social media application. How to use lists, tuples, and dictionaries to represent user profiles or friend connections or posts and comments. I would do user profiles as a dictionary, friend connections as a list, and posts and comments also as a list, because friend connections vary as well as posts and comments, which can increase or decrease. Now, in conclusion, lists, tuples, and dictionaries are extremely fundamental to the programming itself, and each data structure has strengths. Lists for data that changes over time, tuples for data that stays the same, and dictionary for labeled data. And libraries extend the capabilities to ML, web development, and a lot more things. If you combine them, you can make complex programs to your imagination. Thank you for attending, and next week, our last week, we'll talk about AI in our day-to-day life.